Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? It's Autobot18 here with another TV episode review. Guys, it is Monday night, and as many of you know, Monday night is Bates Motel night. For me, that is the night I review Bates Motel, and I just finished watching the new episode a few minutes ago. I gathered my thoughts, and now here I am from the review, guys. I'm going to try to keep this one a little short because I got some things to do after this, but yeah, so the new episode of Bates Motel aired tonight, and in this video I'll be reviewing Bates Motel's Season 2, Episode 7. Yeah, that's right, 7. And the title of the episode is Presumed Innocent. And I gotta say, guys, after the ending of last week's episode, I liked last week's episode. The reason why I liked it, though, as much as I did, was honestly because of that ending, and because of the fact that I knew that they were going to go in interesting places with the way they ended last week's episode. By the way, in case you guys didn't know this ahead of time, spoilers, spoil the whole episode. Another couple of big revelations revealed tonight, so I was really looking forward to tonight's episode ultimately. And I gotta say, in the end, I guess I felt pleased, even though I still, after watching every single one of these episodes in Season 2, I'm always left wanting something more. I don't know what it is, and I feel the episodes are starting to get a little formulaic. I feel the beginnings start off really slow, kind of continuing off of what happened last week in the previous episode. And then they kind of build up, something is revealed midway in the episode, something gets exciting, and then at the end of the episode they reveal some complete big plot twist, or something big happens, someone dies or something like that. So I don't know, do you guys feel that way? I just feel that it's beginning a little formulaic in my opinion. Just a little nitpick I have. But anyway, guys, that's just something I observed tonight and with this season. Overall, so far, I'm not fully hooked into the season, even though I did actually end up enjoying tonight's episode overall. But again, as I was getting into the thing about the show getting formulaic, the main reason why I enjoyed tonight's episode was because of the exciting thing that happened in the end of the episode that they saved for the end. Like I said, like they've been doing this whole season, and they kind of been doing that last season as well. But anyway, guys, let's get into my actual thoughts on the episode, and I'll get into the plot and everything like that briefly. I really don't want to make this review too long, because honestly, in terms of plot points, this episode does not have as many as previous episodes had. I know in one of the most recent episodes that aired, I think it was episode 5, I complained that there were way too many plot points in the episode. This episode, we're really focusing on about 2, so I was, more satisfied with that aspect of the show. But basically, we're dealing with the aftermath of what happened in the end of last week's episode with Norman defending Cody and accidentally pushing her father down the stairs, apparently killing him. And that's the main storyline. And of course, Norma finds out about all of this, and she's not all that happy with it, but she's got an even more important job. And then, of course, the secondary storyline is centered around Dylan, because Dylan is always the secondary storyline in each episode, because they have to give him something to do, because he's the stepbrother to Norman Bates. But anyway, getting into Norman's story, which is a lot more lengthy, obviously. I'll get into Dylan's later on. Dylan's, what? I liked where they started Dylan's storyline in the beginning of the season 4 with the whole drug war and everything. I mean, that was cool, but now it's just not appealing at all, really. Obviously, as I've been saying, Norman's storyline for the last couple episodes has honestly been the most appealing thing on the show. I think that they've done a few interesting things with that. Dylan, on the other hand, okay. So anyway, with Norman, as we all know, he killed, and it turns out he did kill Cody's father, even though, from what I saw, that was definitely self-defense. I mean, and they even explain in this episode, Norman's that type of person, he's helpful. So when Cody's father snapped and lost his shit and started, freaking out, he was it looked like he was kind of going to beat Cody up or whatever, because he's an abusive alcoholic, you could tell. The helpful, protective side of Norman stepped in and wanted to do something, and Norman got, punched in the face or whatever, and then he started, tussling around with Cody's father. And one thing led to another, and Cody's father ended up falling down the stairs, and that was self-defense for Norman. So in the beginning of the episode, Norma she's going to the city hall in White Pine Bay, and she's starting off her first day on the council. As we all know, she got the seat because of good old Mr. Nick Ford, and Romero meets her at the city hall. And lets her know of the news that Norman killed Cody's father out of self-defense. So, of course, this is going to freak Norma out, but for a more important reason. Norma is definitely concerned for Norman, but there's something else that's going on concerning the blackouts and the fact that Norman has these blackouts. That is Norma's main concern in this episode, which I will get into. So Norman, the first thing she does, what do you think? She's going to go to the police station to talk to Norman. Meanwhile, they're getting Norman's prints and everything, mug shots and whatnot, all of that you got to do. And that's actually a very key component of tonight's episode. Keep that in mind. They take his DNA. The deputy takes a swab, puts it in his mouth, gets the DNA. Just keep that in mind. That is actually very crucial. So basically, guys, the whole beginning of the episode, I'm just going to sum it up like this. It's just basically Romero asking Norman questions. Norma walking around the police station, freaked out, concerned for Norman, trying to get into his cell or whatever to see Norman. That's basically the beginning of the episode. And of course, word spreads around the town that Norman killed Cody Brennan's father out of self-defense. That's basically the beginning of the episode and the beginning of Norman's storyline. And after all that questioning, Norman, he tells Romero's asking him about the story, and Norman's telling him what he knows. That he did this out of self-defense. He did it to protect Cody. That's why the accident happened. He started tussling around with Cody's father, and then Cody's father accidentally fell on the stairs. It's not like Norman intentionally pushed him, because he didn't. The main reason why Norman lost it at that point was because he had one of those blackouts, which he's had throughout the season several times. He had it in the closet in the beginning of last week. Yeah, in the beginning of last week's episode. He had it again with Caleb in the hotel, and he had it at Miss Watson's house the end of last season. He's had them throughout the last couple episodes, and that's the main conflict that's going on with Norman and himself, and it's the thing that Norma is trying to protect. So that's why when she's over at the police station, her main concern is making sure that Romero doesn't find out about these blackouts, because Norma has known all about these blackouts. She knew about it when Norman killed his father. Now, answer me this, guys. Does Norman know he killed his own father? I know Norma told Dylan last season. I don't remember though if Norman knows. I don't think he does. I think if he did know, that would be even worse on him. I don't think he does. But so Norma knows all about these blackouts, and she knows why he's having them and what it does to him, because she's seen it happen. So, and she's been trying to protect him. So that's what she's doing. That's what Norma's main goal is. That's what she's doing in this episode, trying to make sure no one is finding out about these blackouts. The only people who really know about them are her, Norman, Emma, and now Cody, because Cody's experienced them. She's seen Norman have these blackouts. And that's what Emma does. That's what Norma does in this episode. She goes to Cody, who are both in the police station. She meets her in the bathroom and tells her, "Listen, don't tell Romero or anyone about Norman's blackouts." And Cody's like, "I don't know about that." And she doesn't say anything, of course. But you can see how desperate Norma is to keep everyone from finding out. And that is that whole relationship. It goes back to that whole relationship between the two of them. Norma, her immense love for Norman, and how overprotective she is, even when it comes to something like this, as serious as this, she doesn't want anyone to find out about it, of course, because it's going to bring Norman down. It's bad for Norman, and it's not good at all. So that is why Norma is going to great lengths to keep everyone from finding out about Norman's blackouts. But by the end of this episode, you can tell that the other characters in the show who don't know about it, they're going to start to find out about everything that's going on with Norman. So that's what Norma told Cody in the bathroom, and basically, Norman gets released because they really, first off, it was an accident. He didn't do it on purpose, so they really have no reason to hold him. So they send him home, and that's basically the beginning of the episode. Like I said, you had a few slow scenes. It took a while to actually get get going, get somewhere. And then back when Norman, he's home and everything, and I forgot my train of thought for a second. Cody comes over basically the next day. I probably forgot to mention a few things, but nothing really relevant happened in between the police station and Norman coming home. Basically, Cody comes over. She is leaving the show, apparently. That's something that not upset me, but I find odd. It's like they got a whole bunch of, they got new characters on the show, and they're in the show for a couple episodes, but then they're gone. Cody's character is moving with her aunt in another state or whatever, because of, Cody's father's dead now. And of course, Cody isn't really, upset about this, because you could tell that relationship with her father was strained. He was an alcoholic. She didn't really care for him. That wasn't her favorite person in the world. Let's just put it that way. So that's why she's not completely upset over all of this. So, Cody's moving away, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, then why even bring her on the show? I mean, I guess, yeah, they propelled the story. They propelled the story with this whole thing with Norman and his blackouts by having Cody on the show. Gave Norman a love interest. I understand that. But to just take her off the show after, she's been on for, 4 episodes? I'm sorry, I just find that to be dumb. I mean, there's no guarantee that she's not going to be back on for the rest of the episodes, but most likely she's not, so that's a waste in my opinion. But before she does, before she leaves, of course she's going to add coal to the fire, and she tells Norman how Norma met with her in the bathroom and told her, Norma told Cody, don't say anything about the blackout. So Cody tells Norman this, and of course Norman's not going to be too happy about this. She tells him, your mother knows about this thing with your blackouts. She knows the secret about it. You need to find out what she really knows, why she's protecting you from this, what really goes on when you have these things, why are you having these blackouts and everything. So this is obviously going to set Norman off. The two of them part ways, and Norman wants to know what's going on, obviously. So later on in the episode, where Meryl comes over and tells Norma that the whole incident was declared an accident, and Norman is a free man as of right now until the end of the episode, and Norma rejoices and runs up to the house to tell Norman everything, and Norman's just standing in the stairwell. That was so awesome. He's just standing there, and he's just staring at the door. He's staring at the door, because that's freaking Norman Bates, and he can do that because he's Norman freaking Bates. Alright, that was so funny. But anyway, Norma runs and embraces him, gives him a hug, and, she's so happy that Norman has been cleared. But the main thing on Norman's mind is the whole thing with the blackouts, and he confronts Norma about this. He asks her, he's like, Mother, tell me what's going on. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, and Norma tells him, I love you, but I'm not going to tell. She again refuses to tell Norman the truth of what is really going on, and it's because she feels it is her right to protect Norman, when in reality, I don't know, you could make Norman's probably just going to snap because he doesn't know what's going on with himself. That's the whole thing with that. So you really should tell the kid, even though you have no clue what effect it's going to have on him. It's obviously going to have some sort of psychological effect on him. Who knows? Maybe the blackouts could increase if he finds out what's wrong with him. Maybe he'll be concerned, nervous, scared. I don't know. But Norman is protecting Norman. So I have a feeling or a suspicion that something deeper is going on with this whole thing with the blackouts, and we'll eventually find out about this in the coming episodes. Of course, they're definitely going to go deeper into the blackout storyline because of what happens at the end of the episode, which I will get into later. Right now, I wanted to briefly discuss Dylan's storyline, which, again, I feel didn't go anywhere really tonight except for the end. Like I said, they save all of the most exciting, cliffhanger-ish plot twist scenes till the very last scene of the episode, getting a little formulaic. But anyway, basically, Dylan in the episode, he's meeting with this crew with his job, protecting the weed. It's just the same thing, really. His buddy Remo, and what is that other guy's name? Zane, Michael Eklund. I forget these characters' names like that. The secondary characters, I can't remember their names. Alright, guys, honestly, can you? I don't. I forget them. What do you want from me? So, basically, the main focus of this episode was Dylan and Michael Eklund's character Zane. It's his boss's brother, his boss, Kathleen Robertson's character, Jody. Her brother is Michael Eklund's character, Zane, I think his name is. I don't know. And as well known at the end of last week's episode, Dylan's having this affair with her, his boss, the gorgeous Kathleen Robertson, and she tells Dylan, she entrusts Dylan to watch over Zane and protect, and make sure he doesn't do anything stupid or get into any stupid situation or whatever. So the two of them talk about this in the episode, Dylan and Zane, and that's really it. Nothing exciting happened, in the early episode, Dylan and Zane have some conflicting ideologies. They go to Nick Ford's warehouse and they plan to raid it, basically. And Dylan is like, I don't want you to do this. I don't agree with this. So Michael Eklund knocks him out. Zane knocks him out, and they end up raiding the warehouse. Apparently, you see a bunch of gunfire. You don't know who's getting shot or whatever. It's all blurry from Dylan's point of view because he was punched in the face. Michael Eklund decked him, and that's basically it. Like, nothing exciting happened with Dylan's storyline. I mean, it's just not going anywhere really. It's just they're doing the same thing. They're guarding lead in one scene and they're doing something else in another scene. It's just not fascinating, people. All right, so that's all I want to get into with that. And finally, by far, that was the next to last scene in the episode, and the most exciting scene of the episode is the final scene. Romero is at his motel room. He's having some alcohol, some liquor, whatever. And he gets a call on his cell phone from a deputy. Apparently, the deputy took Norman's DNA. She took from his mouth, put it into the computer against Romero's wishes, because this whole case with Norman is done. The whole incident was ruled as an accident. Norman and his struggle with Cody's father and him falling down the stairs was ruled as an accident. So, what was I going to say? So, Romero didn't want, anything to do with Norman. But the deputy takes Norman's DNA, puts it into the computer, and it pulls up a match to the DNA that was found inside of Miss Watson. So remember, early in the season, you remember when they were still talking about Miss Watson? Yeah, they let go of Miss Watson for like 4 episodes, and now they're bringing that storyline back. I assume they would, and they are, and I was very pleased with this. I think they're going in an interesting place with this whole thing with Norman, because now Norman's just been caught in a lie. He's told everyone he wasn't with Miss Watson that night. The only one who knows is that Norma knows he was with her. But apparently he must have slept with her now, because his DNA was found inside of her vagina. So there you go. So, yeah. There you go, and Romero pinned it on that guy. Remember, they arrested that guy and blamed him, accused him of sleeping with Miss Watson, and apparently it was really Norman. And I was kind of shocked at that, because I never really thought Norman slept with her. But I guess he did. So look at this 3 girls this kid has banged on the show. Nicole Peltz's character, Miss Watson, and Cody. Damn! Norman Bates is a lucky SOB. Wow, but apart from that, guys, apart from that fact, if he really did sleep with her, which apparently he did, he must have slept with her, and then he must have killed her. But the thing is, Norman had that blackout at her house. Apparently, he saw Norma, and she told him, you know what to do. So I guess he slept with her, and then he killed her, and that's when he had the blackout. So apparently that's what happened. I'm making predictions, of course, for the coming episodes, because they're obviously going to go in detail with this, because Romero now knows the truth, and he's obviously going to confront Norman about this, because Norman has been lying to everyone. And I don't even think Norman knew he was lying. He probably doesn't even know that he slept with her because of the blackouts, which is why they're going somewhere with this blackout storyline. So that's essentially why Cody was important to the show, to further develop that blackout storyline. So there you have it, guys. So that was tonight's episode. Like I said, it was an okay episode for the beginning and the middle, but my main beef with it is that they saved the most exciting parts of these episodes for the very end to leave us hanging for next week, and then next week they're probably going to do the same thing. The beginning will be somewhat, monotonous, a little slow, and then some big revelation or plot twist will show up at the end of next week's episode. So I really hope they don't keep doing that, because it's becoming really formulaic, really boring, same thing they're doing. But anyway, tonight's episode, I'm going to go... I was going to go 8. I'll go 8.5 because I really like that revelation, because if I think that they're going in the direction that they're going, like I said with last week's episode, they're going somewhere. They're bringing back this whole thing with Miss Watson. Now we're finally going to get answers for that. It's about time. And so they're finally going to finish off that storyline, which I feel they should. I feel that storyline has overstayed its welcome, even though they let it go for several episodes. But yeah, that's how I felt about tonight's episode. Like I said, my main problem with the show is it's getting a little too formulaic in each episode, and that the most exciting part happens at the very end. The rest of the beginning of the episode, not as exciting. Same thing with tonight's episode. Though I did enjoy that revelation. I enjoyed a few other scenes with tonight's episode. I enjoyed the whole conflict between Norman and Norma, because you can tell they're going to go somewhere with that. They're straying away from each other because Norma is protecting Norman from this whole thing with the blackouts. So I want to see where they're going to go with that. But anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I have to say about tonight's episode. 8.5 out of 10. It was okay. I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this Miss Watson thing. Guys, if you did see tonight's episode, let me know what you thought of it down below. Were you upset with it? Were you pleased with it? I would like to know what you guys have to say about it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my review. And bye, guys.